Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into the world of beauty products. It can be pretty overwhelming, right? Specifically, we're looking at clean beauty. Our mission here is simple: cut through the marketing buzz, help you navigate it all, and really empower you to make skincare choices that feel right for you.
Absolutely. And it's so important because, well, your skin is your largest organ. It's a barrier, but it absorbs things too. What you put on it really matters. Especially, if you're dealing with common things like acne or sensitivity. We've been digging into a lot of research, articles, notes, trying to get a clear picture.
Okay, so let's start with that term, clean beauty. What are we actually talking about when we say that, fundamentally?
Well, generally, it points to products made without certain chemicals, often seen as, let's say, harmful.
Yeah.
There's usually a focus on transparency, sustainability too. Think avoiding potential allergens or maybe endocrine disruptors. But, and this is really crucial, clean beauty isn't officially regulated. There's no single definition everyone agrees on.
No legal definition.
Right. So brands can, and often do, define clean for themselves. And that, unfortunately, can sometimes lead to, well, greenwashing, making things sound more natural or safe than they perhaps are.
Okay, so if brands make their own rules, how do we even start to look at an ingredient list? What are those ingredients people often flag, the ones that make you pause?
Exactly. Yeah, you start seeing the same names pop up. Things like parabens, the preservatives, right? But often flagged as endocrine disruptors.
Endocrine disruptors, meaning they mess with hormones.
Basically, yeah. Chemicals that can potentially mimic or block your body's hormones, even in small amounts, theoretically. Then you've got phthalates, used in plastics sometimes or to carry fragrance, linked to reproductive issues in some studies.
And formaldehyde. That sounds like something from a science lab, not my face cream.
Right. It is a known carcinogen and a definite irritant. Sometimes it's released by other preservatives in the product. And sodium lauryl sulfate, SLS, it makes things foam up nicely, but it can be quite harsh, stripping your skin. Dryness, irritation.
Okay. And synthetic fragrances.
Yeah, often just listed as fragrance or parfum. It could be a mix of, well, who knows what chemicals, sometimes triggers allergies, headaches, that kind of thing for sensitive people.
All right, so these ingredients, they sound genuinely concerning when you list them like that. But I've also heard people say the amount matters, like the dose makes the poison. Is that relevant here?
That's a hugely important point. It brings up this vital difference between an ingredient's hazard and its risk.
Hazard versus risk. Okay.
Think of it this way. A shark is hazardous, right? Potential danger.
Yeah.
But the risk of you being harmed by one while you're sitting in your living room is zero. With cosmetics, many studies that show toxicity. They might involve huge doses or ways of exposure that aren't skin application. The risk depends on the actual exposure conditions, tiny amounts. In a formula, on your skin.
So just because something could be bad in a lab doesn't mean it is bad in my lotion.
Got it. And does natural automatically mean safe then? Definitely not. I mean, poison ivy is natural. Some essential oils can be irritating. Natural isn't a synonym for safe. And conversely, lots of lab-created ingredients are fantastic. Think ceramides, hyaluronic acid, niacinamide powerhouse ingredients, very safe and effective. It's about the molecule, the concentration, the research, not just where it came from.
Okay, wow, it's complicated. With all this ambiguity, the greenwashing risk, how do we find products we can actually, trust? Is there a shortcut?
There's help, thankfully. Your best bet is often looking for reputable third-party certifications.
Yeah.
They do the homework for you, basically. And one of the big ones, globally recognized, really respected, is ecocert. They're pioneers, actually setting the first standards for natural and organic cosmetics way back.
ecocert. Okay. So if I see that logo, what does it actually guarantee? What checks have been done?
Good question. Ecocert standards are now part of this wider standard called Cosmos.
Okay.
So if you see Cosmos organic certification, that's the gold standard. It means things like at least 95% of the plant ingredients are organic, at least 20% of the entire product is organic, 10% for things you rinse off. And importantly, it bans GMOs, parabens, synthetic perfumes, synthetic colorants, and no animal testing. It's solid proof against greenwashing, shows real environmental commitment. It's a stamp you can generally rely on.
Right. That makes sense. So wrapping this up, what's the main takeaway for you listening right now, maybe feeling a bit lost in the beauty aisle?
I think the core message is that making informed choices is empowering.
Yeah.
It really is. Understand the terms like clean, but know their limits. Look for those trustworthy certifications like ecocert Cosmos. Use them as your guide. And maybe try to move past simple good versus bad labels. It's usually more nuanced.
It really is. Okay, so here's a final thought to leave you with. Given that we know natural doesn't always mean safe. Think about this. What natural ingredient, maybe something you use every day, could you possibly be reacting to without even realizing it? How might that challenge your own assumptions about what's truly good for your skin? Something to think about. Keep learning. Keep questioning those labels.